Battle continues May 1st at the second stop on the PSP Tour, so mark your calendars and sign up your team to take the field at the 2015 PSP Nashville Open. Watch all the action going down and broadcast live May 1st through the 3rd on pspevents.com.
Just for them in the offseason, they picked up Fedorov, Mishka, and Sergey again, and also brought over Alexander Burtnikov from Art Chaos. And
Sergey getting shot right in the face off the get out of that back center. Greg Sewers trying to make a bump to the outside. He makes it in alive. Jason Edwards getting shot. He comes running off. Daniel Holiday also getting shot early for Tampa Bay Damage. So 4-on-3 right now. Oh, nope. Damage loses another body over there off that Dorito side.
Not looking good here early on for Tampa Bay Damage.
Brian Smith, he gets shot. Looks like just Timmy left here in the middle.
And he's going to get shot as well. So quick point here for Houston Heat. Only losing Sergey. And their starting lineup was Konstantin Fedorov, Sergey Sonaiskov, Chad George, Greg Sewers, and Malloy, Alexander Burtnikov.
Yeah, I imagine we're going to see a lot of the 4 Russian lineup out here today.
Well, they didn't start Mishka.
No, we will, though. He's really good at
he
playing
is.
those center spots.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, we saw him shooting out of the back center. You know, I mean, we haven't seen really consistent lines yet out of Houston Heat. You know, they're mixing it up a lot. But, yeah, I really like the way Mishka plays up here in the middle, you know, through the middle on those moves, too. Malloy, same thing. Fedorov, he's a real creative player. But Tampa Bay Damage, like I said, you know, both these teams are good at playing that inside paintball. Well, you know, I think this game's going to come down to who shoots who on the break.
It is that element for sure. But also the thing about Tampa Bay Damage is, you know, they saved their team in the offseason. They did lose some bodies. They don't have Ramziel Youssef. They don't have Chad Bougier or Keith Brown. They went to Impact. And they picked up a couple rookies, but their core is going to have to play the majority of the points. And in these conditions, it's very difficult to have that fast turnaround and that deep roster for Houston Heat. You know, that could potentially play a big factor here. And you're looking at this game matchup on paper, probably got to give the edge to Houston Heat. But Tampa Bay Damage, man, you know, again, the core of that team has won many paintball tournaments together. They've won a World Cup, and they are very hungry to get back in the mix here and prove that they deserve to be winning tournaments. So if they could come out here, it would be a huge, awesome way to start the season for them, and what a great story it would be after saving their team to come out and beat Houston Heat and move on to the finals. I'm sorry, move on to the semifinals. Because the winner of this game will be taking on Upton 187 crew.
Yep, and Damage, they're bringing their squad out again. Let's see how they try and play it here. Houston Heat coming out with Sewers, Mishka, Bierdnikov, Fedorov, and Chad George. Fedorov coming out here to the snake side corner. He takes a bouncer in the arm. He is clean. Damage loses the body going out to the Dorito sides. Jacob Edwards going out to that Dorito side corner, look like. Here goes Bierdnikov. He gets shot trying to make a move out of the back center.
Doubling up there in that back center. And that bunker's going to get a little small as Konstantin Fedorov makes his way up. The bunker, insert bunker right behind the snake.
Mishka up in the middle for Houston Heat. Here comes Fedorov out of the corner.
Man, look at Jason Edwards just wheeling and dealing from that back bunker. Their left-hand portion of your screen, but both him and Smith get shot out of there. And like we said, that spot gets really small. The farther that your opponents get out wide, it's tough to live with 2 bodies in that back center. And here comes Houston Heat streaking down the field with Konstantin Fedorov to take out Timmy Probst. Again, the last player left alive for Tampa Bay Damage.
Yeah, up in the middle of the field. I mean, I thought for sure Damage would make some adjustments and send somebody hard up the middle. They're definitely going heavy guns out of the middle, but I really think if they're going to win this game or put any sort of pressure on Houston Heat, they're going to have to get somebody charging through the center of the field, get up in that A, look to make some of these moves like we've seen from these other teams that are winning, like 187, you know, with Max Traylor. Max Traylor just finished with, what, 10 kills? 10, 11 kills that last point. I mean, it wasn't because he was sitting in the corner.
No, it's because he was feasting.
Yeah, just he brought his big fork and his big sharp knife, went up into the middle, was just chopping up bits, little pieces of players, and just eating them. Unreal, unbelievable how
much, just the improvement of 187 crew over the
Yeah.
years. But again, that's what can happen. What a great story, man. Bunch of young guys getting together from, middle of nowhere, Massachusetts. I mean, no one had heard of Upton, Massachusetts until 187 came into the league, and they're just putting they're putting themselves and their team and where they're from in the world on the map. That's what paintball is all about. You get your buddies. You think you guys are good at paintball? Well, put a team together and get into the competition. That's what's cool about the PSP. Tons of different divisions, and we're going to see a lot of divisional paintball today too. The semifinals for D1 is on the main field for this event, and then we're going to see all D4 finals, 3, 2, and 1 finals, and then we will see the championship match here. So lots more paintball coming at you, but yeah, just 187 crews improved so much, and waiting here, watching the entire squad for 187 is on the sidelines right now, watching this game, trying to see who they're going to be fighting in a little bit. And Houston Heat looking like the favorite early on here, Todd. Not making any mistakes, shooting players off the break, attacking up that center.
Yeah, but we saw this earlier too. These teams are very capable. We had 8 really good teams out here in this champion playoff.
Well, another thing that's interesting too, Todd, is the last time that the majority of the 4 Russians from that are on Houston Heat right now, the last time they played Tampa Bay Damage, you remember when that was?
World Cup
Finals.
Yep.
And
7-0
beating. Yeah.
7-0.
So if I was Tampa Bay Damage, I'd be out for redemption right now.
Yep, and there they go. They get Paul Everett up in the middle. He goes up to the A. Is he going to make it pay off? Malloy knows where he is. He's gun battling, looking for him. Everett going to switch up on him again. Malloy going to run into a gun, get shot up. So
Paul Everett played good yesterday.
Yeah,
even in that loss.
He's gotten better and better the longer he's been on Damage. I mean, he played with them back in the day, was gone for a bit and came back. But, he's starting to get in the groove again. And, maybe he's going to be the guy out here that helps Tampa Bay Damage give Houston Heat a game out here, getting up in that middle, getting some kills. He already allowed Jacob Edwards to get out wider on the Dorito side, and Timmy Probst to get out of that middle and create some space, but Jacob Edwards loses a gunfight out of that Dorito. That's a tough loss for Damage right there. Jason Edwards now finally able to bump out of that back center and get into the Snake Side Temple. So he's fighting. Sam Monville, he comes up into that center tower. Ryan Moorhead is over here in the outside Snake Temple.
And Paul Everett shooting at Ryan Moorhead right here, trying to keep him from getting into the Snake. Now Moorhead's going to come around and try to battle him. And then here comes Jason Edwards into the Snake.
Yeah, Jason Edwards that was Sam Monville in the center of the field that he had a shot on there for a brief second. Still trying to protect Paul Everett up in the middle. Ryan Moorhead switching back and forth. All the Houston Heat players going back and forth, looking for kills.
Big point right here for Tampa Bay Damage. Down 2 here in this quarterfinal matchup. Jason Edwards in the Snake, Paul Everett in the center, and Timmy Probst just always holding it down. And he is also with Everett in the center, and his gun is shooting towards that D side, trying to keep Houston Heat honest over there. There's the eye in the sky of the line. So 4 players for Heat on the right-hand side, but not very good field position. And you can see Jason Edwards in the first section of the Snake. The referee is in there checking out Paul Everett, and he's still clean, so that's huge for Damage.
3 bodies alive, Tampa Bay Damage. 4 bodies alive for Houston Heat.
So locked into their gunfights. Houston Heat not wanting to let Tampa Bay Damage push up any farther. And it looks like Paul Everett finally gets shot out of that center, so that's going to open things up for Houston Heat here. Now they have a 2-body advantage. Oh, and they peel off Timmy Probst as well, so it's just Jason Edwards looking at. Looks like 4 bodies still left alive for Houston Heat. So nice work by Houston Heat. They maintained their composure, even though they didn't have good field position.
Jason Edwards gets one. It's now a 1-on-3. He shoots Moorhead coming at him. Looks like he catches a bounce. He gets to his feet, looking to get a kill.
Playing every inch of that first section of the snake.
Oh, I think he might
Still
have bounced.
clean.
I think he might have bounced one on the opposite side of the field. Bounced Ryan Smith, maybe. Here comes San Monville. He's cutting through the middle.
I think he shot Ryan Smith, so he's no, Ryan Smith's still alive.
And then they finally put the squeeze on Jason Edwards. Just too much.
Well, he was fighting though.
Yeah, he was trying. He definitely thought about going somewhere, but Mishka just stayed pounding him. And then Sam Monville cut through the middle.
So now going to go down by 3. Houston Heat, 13:35 to go. And looks like Sam Monville getting 2 confirmed kills, 2-pack for him and a 2-pack for Ryan Smith, who's really stepped up for Houston Heat at this event.
Yeah, playing good.
Played with VCK last season, was an original Houston Heat member, one of the main founders of that squad coming out of the Distortion group. And there's the rookie, Luis Munoz, for Tampa Bay Damage. Don't know if we're going to see him out there. He struggled to live off the break and might have to let the core vets on that team try to get back in this match. We'll be right back after this. Do or die time for Tampa Bay Damage right now. Yes, still a lot of time left, 13:35. However, the numbers and the stats on a team going down 3 and coming back to win is not very good. So also, Heat just looking a lot better than Tampa Bay Damage right now.
And Greg Sewers getting shot on the break, going out to the Dorito side. Chad George getting shot coming out to the Snake side.
And it looks like Greg Sewers also gets shot. So now things have opened up a little bit for Tampa Bay Damage, but they lose Jacob Edwards.
There's Brian Smith in the middle of the field. Solnishkov and Fedorov alive in the back right there on your screen. Solnishkov in the back center. Fedorov in the Snake Temple. First time really that Damage has shot people on the break.
Yeah, big difference and a crucial key element of the game of paintball. And right now, let's see if Damage can take advantage of this situation here. Timmy Probst, Paul Everett, Dan Holliday, and Brian Smith on the field for them. And now pushing up in the center of the field is Paul Everett. He's going to go to the 50-yard line and look underneath. Chad Boucher for Houston Heat still alive in the center. And that's who is on the left-hand portion of your screen.
Sergey gets shot out of the back center for Heat. Just Fedorov and Boucher there in the middle of the field. Fedorov comes up over the top. Timmy Probst bumps out wide. Fedorov cuts out to the outside and gets shot on the fill. Just Boucher. Here comes Paul Everett. And he is going to bunker Boucher out of that can. So
signs of life from Tampa Bay Damage right now.
yeah, Damage closes the gap a little bit. Scores 1 point, 12:03 left to go. So, I mean, Damage is a dangerous team if they can shoot people on the break. They just haven't been able to get anybody early. Finally peeled 2 guys off the sides. Because early Houston Heat was shooting Daniel Holliday going out wide on the Snake side, and Chad George was making it. So, and Ryan Moorhead made it, shot Holliday again. That was the first game right there that Holliday actually lived off the break. And, he's such a crucial player to that team. The way that he gets kills, stays alive, communicates, finally getting him out alive, definitely going to help Tampa Bay Damage.
Well, it is interesting how the teams, first of all, when they showed up to this event, they didn't know what the layout was going to look like. Then once they saw it, they had to come up with game plans for it. Then it started raining again, and it had been raining all week here, so the ground became a muddy mess. And then the teams, again, had to alter their game plans because the snake had become so hard to make because it was so hard to run in the mud. So there's been multiple adjustments that these teams have had to make throughout this event, and it's still happening right now as we watch.
And there is Holiday right there on your screen, number 23.
Because Holiday at the beginning of this tournament was doing really well getting into the snake. And now that was the first time that we really saw him live off the break. So we'll see.
Got a lot of good 23s out here. Holiday, Solnishkov, Sloviak.
Bobby Aviles. Oh, wait, no.
Zach
Bobby's,
Wake.
he's 32.
32. Zach Wake's the 23 on Infamous.
Yep.
And here we go. Oh, looked like Holiday might have taken one on the break again. Yep, gets shot about 3 steps out of his bunker. And Damage unable to shoot any bodies on the break themselves. And looks like Timmy gets shot early.
Yeah, 3 bodies coming off for Tampa Bay Damage early here. Just Jason Edwards and Paul Everett left alive, facing 5 players for Houston Heat. So looking to put another point on the board, take it to 4-1. Moves being made in the center. There's Sergey.
Chad George trying to edge out. Sergey coming through. Fedorov coming through the middle, and he's going to get the last body. Paul Everett up there in the middle.
So their flag being run in by Chad George. He's going to touch it up and get checked over by the referee.
Right now, Heat giving it to Damage.
So at least in the early running here, it looks like Heat might be advancing. Too early to call, though, because if Damage can figure out those off-the-break shots instead of getting shot off the break. So, Todd, do you think should they start holding Holiday up, or do you think they're going to continue to send him out here?
Well, other people were making it out there. Houston Heat's just doing a good job of shooting him. Like we talked about earlier, getting out there is huge just because it allows your inside guys to space the field a little bit. But, I mean, it really seemed like the easier shots were the inside guys, and Houston Heat is running to those inside spots and not getting shot. So I think it's really just a matter of Damage just really isn't shooting anybody on the break right now.
That's the story of this game.
Yeah.
They're getting shot on the break, and they're not shooting anybody on the break. And the one point that they did, lo and behold, they win that point.
Yeah. I mean, you can count a million games where if you're just losing the breakout every game, then...
But that's my question. So do you think then, because other teams were making it out there, should they continue to send Holiday out this way towards the snake side, or do they hold him up, maybe send him in the center? I mean, we saw that one interesting play from Dynasty that worked for them in their comeback in their quarterfinal matchup. So I mean, maybe it's time for...
Multiple guys up the center?
Yeah. Because what's your other option? Your other option is continue to send people out here, and that's why Munoz, we haven't seen him, even though it's muddy and these guys might need a rest.
Yeah.
Get some fresh legs out there. He was getting destroyed off the break in the prelims.
Well, if you're not shooting guys running out, as you're running out, then might as well go up the center, because the shots are good running up the center, shooting the wide guys. So don't give away your wide guys and try and get their wide guys.
So again, Holiday now running and gunning out to the corner, and he makes it out there this time.
Thomas Taylor looks like he gets shot on the break. He's asking for a check, and he is going to get pulled. And finally, Damage shoots some bodies on the break. They get 3 bodies. Here comes Brian Smith. He's going to make Malloy wear it in the back and then bunker the last body out of the center. It's Sam Monville. As Jacob Edwards gives a couple extra to Sam Monville. Sam Monville gives him the look and the nod.
So, Damage going to pull within 2 now. So there was the answer to the question. They're going to continue to send Holiday out wide, and he's running and gunning out there, shooting back at the guy shooting at him.
Yeah.
And as we well know, that's one of the best ways to get yourself out alive is just that, get yourself out. You're not going to get help. So nice work by Tampa Bay Damage to keep this one close. 10 minutes and 41 seconds to go, and we'll be right back after this.
I'm here with Paul Everett on the damage side. Now, you guys are down 2 points, but you're doing a good job. Is there a certain strategy off the break that's better to handicap the other team if you can get a kill?
It's almost going back to old school paintball where it's easier to sweet spot a little bit right-handed for the right-handed guys. With the new mode, everyone's still kind of learning, so we might lean on that a little bit. We got some guys that are really good at shooting left, so we're just trying to find our strengths and our advantages and push those.
All right, we'll see if they can get this point.
And again, finally, Damage shoots some bodies on the break. Oh, but bounce Chad George coming out wide and lose a body.
They lose Kyle Berry.
Oh, Fedorov gets shot. Brian Smith looking to get sneaky. He's coming up the middle.
So
but Houston Heat in good position right now. Greg Seaver's getting shot. I think he might have traded out with Brian Smith, but somebody is making moves over there on the Dorito side for Heat, as Damage is getting blown to bits.
Well, it initially looked pretty good for Damage in this point.
I think it was Mishka. I think Mishka was getting sneaky over there in the middle, and he shot all those players off the Dorito side in the back center. So that game could have gone. That could have gone a little differently had Chad George walked out, because both teams shot 2 bodies on the break, but Chad George's bounced, so he was able to actually spread the field. Mishka cuts up through the middle. Fedorov gets shot, but let's see, Sergei Solnyshkov, he gets 2, and Mishka got 2. And Fedorov got the last one. So Houston Heat, you know, man, they're just smoking people in the break right now.
That was a huge point for Heat. He comes out, they lost that last point pretty bad. And then, so then down 2. If Tampa Bay Damage had won that last one, they would have then, stolen that momentum and only have been down by 1. But now Houston Heat refusing to give up, pushing solidly down that D side of the field, and going up another point here. So that 3-point spread back in effect, 10 minutes and 4 seconds to go. Heat 2 points away from victory. They're looking at Brian Smith, one of the core members. And with the story with Tampa Bay Damage is that when they first came up the ranks and they started winning tournaments and doing well, and if you've been watching the webcast, you've heard this before, but bears repeating because Brian Smith's the man, is that Brian Smith was that stone cold killer in the snake. Really athletic, just super methodical, and just decimating people. Now we've been seeing him up the center a lot, and rightfully so, also because, well, they have Holiday in the snake, and it's really tough to get out on that side. Looks like also Damage calling a timeout here. That's a smart time to call a timeout, Todd. Yeah,
we called him Agent Smith for the longest time because he was like the dude in the Matrix.
Pretty much.
Just quiet, killer, always getting the job done. But we've got a little break right here, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Getting back into this quarterfinal matchup between Tampa Bay Damage and Houston Heat. Houston Heat looking pretty good here. And Tampa Bay Damage has to get something going. They cannot let Houston Heat continue to dictate the pace of this game off the break. That's been the real story. Houston Heat just decimating Tampa Bay Damage and a lot of these points off the break. And Damage just not able to play their style of paintball here so far this morning.
And it looks like Daniel Holiday finally makes it out to that snake side corner, but Fedorov makes it out as well. Chad George. Oh, looks like Brian Smith's going to get a major penalty.
And when the desperation sets in, those red flags, a lot of times they start flying. So not looking good right now for Tampa Bay Damage. Houston Heat, 5 players alive for them. Konstantin Fedorov, Todd, 11 confirmed kills here in this match.
Yep. Looks like Jacob Edwards got pulled on that penalty. And just nothing doing right now for Houston Heat, or I'm sorry, Tampa Bay Damage on the break. Houston Heat just running wherever they want. You know, not really having to adjust again. You know, like when you're in a game and it's a close matchup and, you know, you're playing a back and forth game with teams, there's a lot of adjustments that people make, you know, but when you're just handling a team off the break, there's not really a whole lot that you really need to change. If it's working in a game like this, you just roll with it.
Well,
you know?
How easy is it to play 5-on-4, 5-on-3? It's pretty easy. So that's the advantage you create for yourself. I mean, it's 20% of your firepower if you lose a one body. So Heat is just, they're doing a really solid, efficient job. They've realized what works on this field and what doesn't. They've also adjusted to the current playing conditions, which is not how things were at the beginning of this tournament, or even all the way going back to even just the morning yesterday. So, but that's paintball, man. Things change. You play outdoors, and you have to be able to adjust if you want to win tournaments. And Houston Heat's deep and experienced lineup is doing just that. Let's check in with the referee to see what that penalty was all about.
Player number 65 from Tampa Bay Damage will be charged a major penalty. The player was hit in the leg and continued to play.
So Houston Heat looking like they will join 187 in the semifinals and play each other. Infamous and Dynasty is the game that's coming up next. And in case you guys are unfamiliar with tournament paintball, for some reason, every time that Infamous and Dynasty have played each other in the past 3 seasons, they've been playing each other a lot longer than that, and they've seen some crazy matchups in the long history of both those two franchises. However, in the modern era, the current modern era of the PSP, since we've been doing the webcast, my God, every time they play each other, that game is amazing.
Well, this is the 3rd year in a row that we're going to see a Dynasty Infamous semifinals, and they're each 1-1.
Wow. So we'll see. That game's coming at you next. Don't miss it. And also let your people know across your social networks that the best paintball players on planet Earth are throwing down this weekend in a mud fest here. Off the break, Ryan Smith going up into the center for Houston Heat. And Houston Heat losing 2 bodies, though, here, snake side of the field. So Tampa Bay Damage, even though Heat was on a power play, able to shoot a couple guys, but they lose Jacob Edwards as well, and it looks like Jason Edwards is coming off, and all of a sudden things not looking good again for Tampa Bay Damage.
Now here comes Ryan Moorhead down the Dorito side, and it's just Daniel Holiday over here. He's going to have to win a gunfight. He's got help with him. Timmy Probst is still alive in the middle, I believe, and he gets Ryan Smith. So Ryan Smith gets shot up. And Daniel Holiday's coming back to the back center. Nowhere to hide for Timmy, but Holiday is swinging around wide. Does he get picked up by Moorhead? It looks like they trade. And just Mishka going to be the lone survivor out there on the field to go grab that flag and run it in. So there was Moorhead. There's Mishka, number 77.
So as the horn sounds, that final score is going to be Houston Heat 7, Tampa Bay Damage 2. And Houston Heat will advance to the semifinals to take on Upton 187 crew. So a big test for Upton as they're taking on a heavily favored Houston Heat with their superstar lineup. But that game, again, after the dynamic matchup between San Diego Dynasty and Infamous that's going to be going down here in just a little bit. And I got a smile on my face because I love watching these two teams play each other when it counts.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. 2 good matchups here. Houston Heat playing well, 187 playing well, and then obviously Dynasty and Infamous at any time very well could be a finals matchup. So, we're going to get a good one out here. There you see, here's the replay of Fedorov up the middle, getting a kill out of the back center. Nowhere to hide for Brian Smith. As you see this game replay.
Yeah, and saw a lot of that this game. A lot of damaged players walking off. And you can see here on the replay, Houston Heat just doing a real good job of putting pressure. It was all about pressure for Houston Heat. They were making their spots, shooting those really good lanes off the break, and even though it's muddy and nasty out here, still making those moves.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier to make those moves when you got the body advantage. But I can't wait to see how this finals is going to play out. Two really good semifinal matches coming up, but the way that these teams were playing, because we got Houston Heat, who's just dicing people on the break, but not really like attacking the middle hard. We got 187, who's really kind of playing well all over the field, attacking the middle, playing smart and patient, but they were running wide. Houston Heat was shooting people going wide. And then you have Dynasty and Infamous, who might just be a giant 35-car pile wreck, in the middle of the field when it comes to their game. So, I like what we're seeing out here. Let's go down to Lauren Kelly on the sidelines.
Actually,
Hey guys, I'm here with Greg Sewers of Heat. Congratulations on that win. Now, before that last point, I saw you talking to Ryan Smith and Ryan Moorhead on the field. What were you telling them you had experienced in the previous points you had played?
What that had been is we kind of had to call an audible. They really started focusing on our Dorito side, and the double Ryans also play the Doritos. So I was just letting them know, there's 3 guys shooting this way. Don't be afraid to pull up, dive hard. Just stay out of the way.
Now, Damage obviously went through a lot of changes during the offseason, which is hurting them here in Dallas. But what did you see were some of their biggest problems this weekend?
I think it was just organization. You can't take anything away from their players. I mean, even some of their pickups are really good guys. They just didn't have that coach there to say, hey, look, here's what's happening. Here's what I can see. Someone with that off-field view to really help them build their plays.
With the fields being a little bit more difficult to get those long runs off of the break, what is the most clutch side to try to key up on and get a kill off the break to kind of handicap the other team?
I really think it's the Dorito side, because if you look at the field, the inside person doesn't really have much to work with. There's only a small pin, and the second can is way up the field. So if you shoot that outside guy, you pretty much own that side.
You guys are going to be playing 187 in the semifinals. You've been watching their matches. They're playing really hard. Are you guys surprised with how much they've improved and how hard they're playing out here?
I don't think we're surprised. Everyone kind of started giving them respect last year. I mean, they earned the nickname the Relegators. They put some really good teams down. So with watching them, we're comfortable playing them. We're ready to take it on. Let's go head first into it.
All right, well, stay tuned. We got Dynasty versus Infamous coming up next. We'll see who's going to go on to the finals.
Mark your calendars and get ready for the battle at the upcoming stops on the 2015 PSP Tour. The Nashville Open goes down May 1st through the 3rd. Mid-Atlantic Open June 18th through the 21st. The Chicago Open takes place August 7th through the 9th. And the biggest paintball tournament on earth, the PSP World Cup, runs October 15th through the 18th. Sign up your team now and get into the fight. Watch all the action on pspevents.com. You don't want to miss it.